Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima and I'm here checking out Exist Archive, The Other Side of the Sky. That's a weird name actually, like really weird, especially that subtitle. I don't think it makes any sense, but then again it probably does later on in the game, but, well, we all know me. So, let's go and load my game basically straight away. We don't have to look at the options menu just yet. This game does have cross-save support as determined by the main menu options. As you can see here, 5 hours, 15 minutes of gameplay time, and that's enough for me. That's a bit of a spoiler right there, isn't it? But we'll go have a look anyway. Also, weird note, loading and saving in this game takes longer than any other game I've seen on the Vita so far. It's kind of weird. I'm not entirely sure why either. The game's not particularly complex. Nevertheless, for some reason it's going to pop us straight into a cutscene here, which I'm not going to bother with. Instead, I'm going to show you two cutscenes end on end. First, I'm going to show you an earlier cutscene, no story spoilers, that is in the Japanese voice acting. Then I'm going to show you a cutscene that's in the English voice acting. Because I feel like the English voice acting in this game wasn't very well done at all, especially with the game's theme. But I'll let you decide for yourself.
晴れてるのに雨が降ったら狐の嫁入りか
狐の嫁入り人間以外にも知的生命体が
狐がわかるのか
星の知識から参照できる範囲ならな俺はあまり深くは潜れないがゼノファクターの行使も俺の力というわけではないしな
星に意志があるみたいな言い方だけどあるいは星そのものがコンピューターみたいな
そういうものとしか言えんそれよりも狐の嫁入りが気になるな
日が照っているのに雨が降る様子を狐の嫁入りって言うんだよ古い表現さ
その概念ではやはりこの天候は雨天に分類されるのか
あーどうなんだやはり雨だと
これは晴れです絶対に晴れ優しいねあの子
あどういうことよ
ーし元気になったぞうがー
The sun's shining, but at the same time it's raining. Weird.
A sun shower. In Japan, they're called a fox's wedding shower.
A fox's wedding? There were other sapient species besides humans?
You know what foxes are?
More or less. As much as I can gather from the planet's databases, anyway. Even xenofactor is not something I can make use of under my own power.
You keep making it sound like this world is some kind of computer.
That is the only way to express it. Now, tell me more about fox weddings.
It's just an old Japanese saying for sun showers, that's all.
Then, using that idiom, this weather is still considered rainy.
I'm not sure, actually.
Yeah, it's probably rainy.
No, this is sunny. It's bright and sunny out. You know, Mayura's awfully sweet.
Yeah.
Huh? What? What's going on?
All right! I've got my energy back. Let's do this. Yeah!
Alright, so now you've seen that. Yeah, can you see what problem I had with it? It doesn't feel anywhere near as serious. At least the English dub does. Doesn't, I should say. Notably, it's the, you know the weird guy who's in the guy's hand? It's a strange thing that it seems to me that they don't know how to get the strong voices right. At least strong Japanese voices, like the really evil sort of dark voice. Like, in Soul Sacrifice, for example, there was that weird book that would talk to you and it was all big and evil and stuff like that. And they made him like freaking Irish or something in the English dub and it just made no fucking sense. Anyway, I'm wasting your time. So, we've got a few options here. Oddly enough, the game is surprisingly lightweight for most RPGs. There's no, like, exploration going on in the sense of a hub world or anything like that. It's all menus. So if we hit start, it'll take us to our setup screen and all that. You can come here to save and load, and of course we've got the options menu. Message speed, sound sliders, voice settings, your rotation speed, your character icon position. I don't really know what these aren't really... you don't really need to change these. You can change your controls, which is kind of nice, but yeah, I didn't actually know display map was a thing until like 5 hours in. Even though I'd actually been in the screen before, saw this, and then completely forgotten about it because I'm a fucking idiot. Autosave never worked, as far as I can tell, which is why I turned it off. I played the game for like 4 hours and the game didn't autosave once. I'm not entirely sure what that's about. It just never worked, and I don't know why. But there you go. You can come here to have a look at the game's tutorials and stuff like that. There's a bunch of stuff that needs to be learned, and obviously it's an interesting battle system, but I'm not too impressed with it. We'll get onto why that is very shortly. Collection is just your encyclopedia of stuff. I won't go into what all that is right now. You can view affection levels. Why is this a thing for every JRPG now? Was Persona really that popular in Japan? I don't know, maybe I'm thinking too deep into this. Maybe this was a thing before Persona, and Persona was just the one that got it right, and maybe I'm just a little bit biased towards it. But yeah, there's affection levels, and assumedly, if you get these up high enough, it gives a special skill. But at the same time, it just, yeah. I can't even see, like, what skills you get, so it doesn't really matter, does it? Come here to have a look at all your characters. I got a bunch of SP I need to spend for everybody, but, you know, there you go. You can see all their skills, and it can get very high by the looks of those meters, so that's a thing. The way skills work in this game is that you get SP every time you level up, and you can pick what you want to spend them on. So, there are a bunch of skills that'll give you, like, extra attacks, extra abilities on your attacks, like knockdown, poison, etc, etc, etc. And of course you can get other skills as well, like you can get things that'll let you guard automatically, and just all sorts of things going on here. And of course, every character has a different class, so you have different attacks going on, and you can do different things like that. I'm just going to spend all the skill points I got, because I don't really see a reason not to, but yeah, you earn skill points actually really slowly, and it's kind of weird. I mean, considering that you don't really have that many skills, it's just, yeah, it's a bit odd. Just a little bit. Oh yeah, more armor please, because why not? So yeah, the idea with this game is that you actually have to take along a party of 4 members that actually complement each other pretty well. And the annoying thing about this is that they don't actually give you a very good party for the first, like, 3 hours of the game. At first, you're by yourself, and all you can do is really spam the attack button and hope for the best. And then, all you've got is, you've got these 4 preset people, and 2 of them don't combo together very well, and the other 2 are mages, so they can't combo, like, at all, basically. It's kind of strange, but we'll get on to how all that works, of course, later. And that will do. And of course, you can come in to change your party members. You get more party members as the game goes on, and apparently there's like 10 or 11, and I've only got 8, but I'm going to stick with the 4 that I've got right now, because I haven't spent the skill points on all the other ones yet, because I only just got them, because the game takes a while to get set up like that. Of course, you can come here to change their class, their equipment, which I haven't really bothered with, because I just hit start on all of them, and that just sets everything up nice and easy. Notably with this game's system is that equipment can have, what's the word? They can have, I can't remember the thing, but it's the thing that goes, like, before the name. So, you can see that they've got they've got little prefixes. That's the word I'm looking for. Prefixes, and prefixes actually change how the armor and weapons work. So yeah, cold guard age guards against cold, obviously, right? So yeah, it changes how the equipment works, but the titles don't actually come up that often, which is a little bit disappointing, honestly, because it would have been neat to have them come up more often and have more things to do, but there you go. I'm not going to complain too much about it. Of course, you can change outfits, and you can have This is where you're supposed to go to equip these? I thought these were equipped automatically. Shit. Okay, never mind. I'm an idiot. Let's just equip all of these while I'm here. I was wondering why these weren't having any effect, but then again, I am a bit of an idiot, aren't I? Unbelievable. Man, I'm so bad at these games, aren't I? Jesus Christ. Alright, back we go. And of course, you've got items that you can use as well. There's your typical sets of weapons and armor. You've got accessories. Absolute ton of lucky coins. And you can use different sorts of items for different things, like permanently increase one's intelligence by 5. And there's, of course, healing items and status effect items. And yeah, not too much out of the ordinary. You're supposed to be able to buy items after a specific bit at Amasume, but you can't do that immediately after you unlock her, which is a little annoying. Strangely enough, it also feels the need to load you into this instead of actually letting you just like go straight into the menu automatically, and it's odd. Hi. But yeah, you can offer her crystals for amp, and you can also trade items with her for amp, but I'm not going to trade anything because I might need those weapons later. But then again, considering I don't really plan to come back to this game later, I don't really see the point. Out we go. But yeah, again, since I can't actually buy items from her yet, I can't use the amp, which is a little disappointing, but there we go. Also notably, you can actually do things called speedruns, and these are fights against really powerful bosses, and if you get it done fast enough, you get special items for it. The unfortunate thing being that I'm nowhere near strong enough to go up against any of these yet. You unlock this first one when you're nowhere near ready to take it on, which is kind of strange, honestly, but there you go. Really shouldn't have skipped that, that animation, but I did anyway. So, you've got a bunch of different locations you can go to, and these all have different quests on them. Like, for example, here, defeat the boss, suggested level 7. We do not want to go do that. Also, notably, this game has some network functionality where you can go into the area that the most people online have been going into, and it'll increase the drop rate when you break crystals, but I haven't actually gotten anything from the crystals yet, so I don't even know what that's useful for. I'm just looking for something that's more my level, because here's the thing. It says the suggested level for this quest is level 14. The problem with that is that all my people are level 14, and we basically got destroyed, like, immediately as we went into the first fight in the dungeon, so level 14 is probably the absolute minimum that you can get by that quest on, but we're gonna have to go beat this level 10 boss then, aren't we? Because that's pretty much all we can do. The rest is just way too low level. But anyway, let's just get straight into the quest, shall we? So here we are in the Northern Wood. And this is how dungeons work, basically. What you do is you wander around in a sort of like 2D platformer sense, but not really. I mean, you move, you jump, and you can do attacks to get the basic attack in on the guys before the battle starts. But the thing about this is it's really lightweight. I mean, they might add more to it later, but it really is just a dungeon only in 2D, and it doesn't stay this way forever, because the battles are actually completely different to this. Although I gotta admit, the game is very pretty. It is nice to look at. But anyway. So here's how battles work. They're split into 2 phases, the attack phase and the guard phase, and basically it's just a back and forth of attacks between you and the enemy. In this case, a lot of the enemy, and unfortunately I'm in the guard phase first, so everybody gets to attack me. And I can press one of the 4 buttons to put my guard up, and this is entirely necessary to protect my guys from damage. Unfortunately, I have a very limited amount of action points, so I have to choose how I guard. You get a certain amount of action points each phase, and you can use these action points in your attack phase to actually get some attacks in. Man, these guys are weak. Like, the quest I have right now that's level 14, all the enemies are like 2,000 something health. It's kind of ridiculous, but for some reason I have to fight against 600 health ones, because of course. So the idea is you use the face buttons again to select a person and decide what you want to do with them. And the idea is that you have to lay out the attacks in a specific way in order to get a... Brain work with me here. In order to get... Oh, my brain, I'm having a stroke today, aren't I? You have to put your attacks out in a certain order and in a certain way in order to get combos going. So as you can see, your attacks go out in the order that you press the buttons in. And you just have to, like, hope and pray for the best. I mean, there are some attack orders and some parties that can get really good sets of attacks in. Oh, god damn it, they're attacking her. So I got the wrong guards in and I paid for it. Because of course I did, right? And I find the system to be quite annoying, honestly, more than anything else. It's just... I'm not entirely sure what I want to say about it, because... Honestly, most of my experiences with this game's combat are in the first 3 hours, where you have an absolutely terrible party to start with. So you can't actually, like, you don't actually do very well in the combat just because your party absolutely sucks for it. And when you get a decent party going, you can actually build up combos, is fine. But even then, I just don't find the system that interesting when you do have a interesting combo. Well, not so much interesting as much as well-performing combo system. Also, you have to watch its animation every goddamn time, and I don't know why. You don't have to at the beginning, and then you start having to it. It's annoying as shit. So... yeah, you do have to, like, try and put your attacks in the right place, and you do have to get them in the right order. And I don't know what it is about this system, but once you've found a relatively decent attack combo, you don't really need to worry about doing something else. Like, I just got 83 something hits using a very, not so much preset command, but it was like, I hit square, triangle, X, circle, square, triangle, square, triangle, square, triangle. That's basically all I do with this party. And it is like the best set of attacks I can get in, more or less. Because the combo just works out pretty well. Like, no matter what I do. Because the idea is you want all your party members to be attacking at the same time, more or less. And doing that basically means you have to spread out the attacks across all the party members. So that's why I have square, triangle, X. Because square, triangle, X gets all 3 of my attacking party members in. So that's just pretty much how that works. And pretty much every dungeon I've played in this game is like this. Basically, you just wander around this dungeon looking for monsters to fight and looking for the exit. Sure, you can... Oh, I have to defeat a spine cone for a copper chip. Okay. That happens from time to time. But yeah, this is basically how every dungeon in this game works. You just wander around, hit enemies, or avoid them. You can avoid them. Some can be jumped over, but some can't be avoided. Sometimes you have to fight bosses and stuff. And with the way this game throws really strong monsters at you, you do kind of want to be, like, constantly battling everything because you want to be grinding up the experience. So, there you go. Thankfully, we have some actually strong monsters here, so we can do some stuff. They do have elemental weaknesses, and you can use this to build up your Gyron's Greed meter in the bottom left there. And building up that meter lets you pull off special attacks. And every time that meter has a 1 through 4 on it, you can attack with that many party members, which is... And by attack, I mean a special attack that does lots of damage. I'm also not that big of a fan of this game's battle system, mainly because monster tells are kind of hard to tell, which is kind of a strange thing to say, but I have a lot of trouble telling who's going to get attacked by these monsters. It's just, I'm not entirely sure what it is about it that makes it so hard for me, but it's just a pain in the ass to deal with, honestly. There's also another thing about this game's battle system, and you might notice that a specific monster gets picked to be attacked, like, pretty much every time, right? So you have to pick a specific monster in order to attack. Like, see that tell there? How was I supposed to tell what attack that was going to be? Because it could have been a pounce and hit 1, pounce and hit 2, and pounce and hit many pounce there. And it's kind of hard to tell apart what can do what, basically. It kind of annoys me. There is also something else that annoys me, that if you do all your attacks, I'm going to show off a Gyron's Greed attack here, because I actually can. This isn't what I meant. Not what I meant. Oh well. So you can use Demon's Greed here, and you pick someone to attack, and they'll do a more powerful attack for lots of damage. Not bonus damage, just lots of damage. Not even that much damage, really. It's better just to save it all up and use it all in just one go. Like, see, I did way more damage in that attack there, but there you go. There is something else that annoys me about this as well. It's that when you attack with a bunch of attacks on one guy, they might go down really quickly. And if the enemy goes down really quickly, and you still have actions queued up, you lose all of those actions. Which is kind of annoying, because sometimes you can't tell how much damage you're going to do. Because you can get like 3 or 4 crits, and suddenly the enemy will be dead, and you'll still have a couple of actions lined up. And then it'll just cancel all those attacks outright. No, another trial event. Great. So I have to defeat everything in the dungeon now. So it's just kind of annoying, honestly. There are a couple of other things I didn't show you. Like, you saw there in the previous fight how I pressed L and it let me rearrange how my party looked. So I'll just go a little bit more in depth into that. So if you press L, you can change who's in the safe zone and who's in the danger zone. And whoever's in the danger zone gets more attack power, but they get less idle healing. So if they don't take a turn, they'll get a little bit healed up. But if they do take action as part of the turn, they won't heal. And you can reverse that by putting them in the back. This doesn't change how likely these people are to be attacked by anything, though. So if you get like 3 attacks in on the mage of the party who has fuck all in the way of health, well, too bad. She dies. That's pretty much it. Risk aversion isn't exactly a thing in this game. So it's just kind of annoying to have three people go for your mage and just have her be absolutely wiped out. Sucks, really. Getting over attacks gets you these gems, and I haven't actually gone far enough to see what these gems do yet, which is kind of strange. You might also notice that you lose Gyron's Greed if you get attacked, so it kind of sucks because you do have to keep your guys guarded, except it's hard to tell what they're going to do until they're already doing it. And it takes half a second to activate your guards, because your guards won't activate immediately when you press the button sometimes. So it just kind of sucks, really. Might as well show off another Demon's Greed attack. These probably are meant just for attacking in the middle of chains, but there you go. And they keep going anyway. There is also some other factors playing into it, which aren't exactly well explained. Like, they do give you a tutorial on them, but the tutorials are relatively unclear. Like, you can see up in the top left in the fights that there's, 14 enemies in this... Fuck that, I'm going back. No goddamn way. I'm gonna go into the other dungeon so you don't have to look at the same thing over and over again, because Jesus Christ. There are a lot of battles in this game, and they get really repetitive really quick. Oh, I did... Great. I wasn't paying attention, and that happened. So I assume this is the boss fight that the game wanted me to do. I'm gonna have to use our item to heal up my guy, because... Jesus. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to use an item. So let's heal him up. Thankfully, I've got a bunch of things that can do that. Alright. Let's get some attacks in. So, another weird thing about this game's battle system is that, see how it wants you to, like, pick a specific monster, but for some reason you can move it around freely with the analog stick. And it kind of shows what's going to get hit, but it also kind of doesn't. So it's kind of hard to tell, like, who's going to get hurt and who's not going to get hurt by a specific attack. So you just kind of have to wing it. It just feels strangely imprecise more than anything else. It's weird. It just kind of confused me early on, because, like, if I can move this around freely, surely this means that I'd be able to, like, hit multiple people. But, no, sometimes it just doesn't work that way. It's kind of strange. The battle system is just really strange to me, honestly, and I don't like it. It just, especially since you have to do so many goddamn fights. Like, in this dungeon, you have to do 14 fights. And that just seems like overkill to me, personally. I don't find the battle system that satisfying to begin with, and eventually you wear it down to just figuring out the right combinations of buttons to press at the right time, and then hopefully trying to see what the correct, brain work with me here, what the correct, tells are for the attacks. Well, Kanata's been paralyzed. There's not much you can do. Let's get him to use an item. Except he can't because he's paralyzed. Because fuck me. Right, yeah, screw it. This'll do. Right, I only affected those two, but we can take out well, we can try and take out the other 4, but unfortunately, that's probably not gonna happen. Notably, you can actually miss with that Crimson Sphere. It's kind of silly, actually. Because it's like, if you don't have, like, the enemy on the ground, like, if they're a flyer, the Crimson Sphere will actually bounce under them. It's really weird. And yes, I know my people are poisoned. I should probably use some items to get rid of that, actually, just so they don't immediately die. Unfortunately, it costs action points to do that, and I don't like the idea of wasting action points when I need to get as much damage in as possible, but I guess I kind of have to. If this is how badly a level 10 fight is going for me, imagine how bad a level 14 fight went. I know people are going to say I don't understand the battle system and that there's actual skill involved and stuff like that, and yeah, maybe I don't, but from the first few hours of the game, it really doesn't give that good of an impression, honestly, especially since they give you 4 characters who can't really combo well together. And it's just surprisingly frustrating more than anything else. The battles sure look nice. Let's get another Gyron's Greed attack in, because why not, right? I don't claim to understand this game's battle system very much, but at the same time, it's just... Wait a minute. No, they're going to keep attacking anyway. Yeah, that was definitely my fault, because I definitely, like, put way too much effort into one attack, but still, it's just kind of annoying that my people don't have the common sense to be like, oh, I should probably stop attacking this thing that's well dead by now, but yeah. The tutorials aren't great as to explaining how this game actually works, you know? Also, Gyron's Greed seems to reset every time the battle finishes, which is a little annoying, but oh well. well, I got a copper chip, and I'm leaving. Because I'm not going to be fighting 9 more enemies in this one dungeon. I'll go heal up, and we'll go do the other dungeon so that you don't have to look at the same freaking battle screen over and over again. Because a lot of these dungeons are actually very similar. They all look good, but let me try that again. The first few dungeons are very similar visually wise. In fact, the whole first few hours of the game is similar visually wise. So yeah, you fail a quest and it actually reduces like your relationships with the characters, which is kind of annoying, honestly. I wish they didn't do that, but there's going to be a cutscene here, but I'll skip it to save any sort of story spoilers. But really, nothing's happened yet, so nothing really too much to worry about. And you've seen a couple of cutscenes already, so you know what the voice acting sounds like. Sure, it only shows 4 characters out of like 11, but yeah. You heal up whenever you go right back to the hub area, town thingy. So let's just hop straight in, not waste any time. It really is a a well-presented game. It's just, I just don't like the gameplay. I don't like it. It's a bit dull and repetitive, and some of the things just don't make that much sense. And, well, I mean, they'll probably make sense once I learn the game a bit more, but on the surface, they sure don't make that much sense. It's just, I'm not really that impressed. 5 hours in, I'm not that impressed, and I don't want to play anymore. So, I don't even know why I'm still playing. I've said all I've had to say, and, well, let's just go get my ass kicked by something, shall we? And speedruns are just fights. I really should have done the first speedrun, actually, because why not, right? We'll go fight this, and if I get my ass handed to me, or even if I don't, I'll go play a speedrun just to show you what that's like. So yeah, slightly different enemies, slightly different battle background. You know, they really could have made a decent, like, sort of action RPG out of this. Like, I don't know, like, Xenoblade style might have been more engaging than this. I'm not entirely sure why they didn't go for something like that instead of this. I've heard this calls back to some games like, I think something called Valkyrie Profile. I think I heard that come up a few times. I've never played it, so don't ask me anything about it. It's just, yeah, I'm just not that impressed. Yeah, as you can see, I have an absolute ton of health taken off me here, and, well, this fight, I'm fighting 3 people. Not the worst thing in the world. First fight I came up against last time had me fighting like 7 people, so not great. You probably could have done something with like positioning in this game as well, because, I mean, think about it. You could have made some sort of strategic positioning system that would have made like doing like area of effect attacks more effective, but every time that the phase is end, you just go back to the same position. Could have done something with that, but they didn't. It's just weird, really. Feels like a lot of wasted potential more than anything else. See, that should be more satisfying than it looks, but it just isn't. Also, these character models, well, some of them are okay, but this guy up front just looks fucking weird. His eyes are just soulless. I mean, he actively calls himself a bad guy, so there might be a reason for that, but, you know, it's just odd. Yeah, you do have a reason to try and explore the world map. Not the world map, the quest map, because when you get to the end of the dungeons, you get ranked for how much you've explored and how many item boxes you've found, and you get, special items for that. But, it's just, yeah, see, I got an elixir there. But you can't actually explore all the dungeons in one go, I found. I think you need to get, like, an ability to jump higher or something. I don't know what the deal is. So let's try a speed run. Why not? This probably isn't going to end well, but we'll give it a good shot anyway, won't we? I think we're meant to unlock Gyron's Greed before we actually try this. Alright, so, yeah, this guy, we can actually attack more than one point on him, which is Nice. Yeah, I'm much better suited to the speed run than I was before. And as you can see, there's a clock counting away up in the top right there, and there are online leaderboards for the speed runs, but honestly, speed runs in an RPG just kind of go against everything I expect an RPG to be, because it's just strange, because you can get better times in this sort of game just by grinding, more or less. I mean, sure, you basically have to get the max level to even stand a chance, right? So, I don't see the point. That, and they do some really annoying things, like, notice how they stop the clock while they pull up the guard phase and the action phase thing there. It's like, why don't they just, like, remove them from the game entirely? Because assumingly, if you're going for a speed run, you know how the game plays out, right? So, why exactly would they make it so that it just wastes a couple of seconds in between phases and all that, when assumedly you know how the game plays anyway? I'm not entirely sure what's going on here. I mean, sure, if you like the idea of building up a party to make the absolute perfect combo, you'd probably get a kick out of this, but me, I'm just not enjoying it as much as I hoped I would. I was hoping for something maybe a little bit different. I guess not, though. It's a shame, because you want to know who made this game? Tri-Ace. Honestly, I thought they'd gone bankrupt a little bit ago, but I guess they didn't. You want to know what I also made, which really would have been better to come over than this? Freaking Phantasy Star Nova. Why didn't they bring that over instead? Oh yeah, Spike Chunsoft. Hey. I'm not too offended by it. There's just way too many weird things going on with it that I don't like. And the story really isn't that interesting either, at least not yet. It's this whole thing about some kids being abducted from Tokyo when they have these got people making them these godlike things, making them immortal, but they're not strong enough to be sent back. And obviously there's some other things going on, but it's just I'm not interested yet. It really hasn't made that much of an effort. God damn it. I mean, sure, 5 hours into an RPG, that's like being 30 pages into a book and saying it's not interesting, but then again, we are talking about a 50-something hour RPG here. It's like, you don't want people to waste too much time with this sort of things. Like, I'm in a very privileged position, and I know people will hate me for using that word, but it's kind of true. I'm in the position where I get to play an absolute ton of games. The downside being I don't have an absolute ton of time to play every game I want. So if a game doesn't impress me in the first few hours, I'm probably not going to keep playing it, hoping it gets better later on. So, there you go. My Gyron's greed meter's maxed out, so let's pop all of the attacks at once just for some extra chain. See, if I were the developers, I would have removed all of these animations and just made it so that they all play, like, one after the other. Well, not play one after the other. What the fuck am I saying? I would have made it so that they just all, like, do, like, the animations as fast as humanly possible to keep this sort of speedrun thing going on. Just, for a speedrun, it feels weird that the clock has stopped for a few seconds to play out these animations, if you understand what I mean. It's just weird. Really weird. I don't understand it. Let's finish this son of a bitch off. So, just considering that I'll be stopping this video after this speed runs over anyway, I might as well say a few things. Like, I feel like this game could have been a hell of a lot better with a lot less effort. It's just, there's a lot of weird things going on with it that just confuse me. Like, just some of the weird things about this battle system and the fact that the English dub does not fit the game at all, and it's just weird, really, really weird. And this is probably connecting to the internet to upload my time to the leaderboard, which I'm not going to bother to make any better. You do get a lot of speed runs to do, which is kind of nice, I guess, but yeah, it's interesting, but there's just too much weird about it to turn me off it, personally. I'm not too offended or anything by it, but I'm just, nah, I wouldn't recommend it outright. I'd probably recommend a few other things over this, but I don't know, RPG fans and people who want to build a big-ass chain going on might get a kick out of it. But you've just watched like 40 minutes of video anyway, so you'd probably be able to tell if you want this game or not. So I'm just going to end it off right here. This has been Blue Maxima, and I'll see you all next time.